Sales professionals are my favorite people on the planet. I have a lot of empathy for salespeople, especially today. You have so many people telling you, sell this way, sell that way, ask questions this way, make these statements that way. It's no wonder that sometimes we're confused and we have paralysis by analysis. I'd like to add some clarity to this by showing where it is in the sales process we're suggesting you transform into the teaching titan that we challenge you to become. Within the connect, discover, deliver, and close process, keep in mind that you often float in and out of these 4 stages based on many different variables. However, the takeaway that we're about to focus on is that when it's time for you to educate your client, you're jumping from asking questions in discovery to adding value in delivery. Customers just don't need you the way that they used to need you. We've progressed from era 1 selling to era 2 selling years ago. Now our clients need us to be more proficient in what we call era 3 selling. Era 1 selling, this is everything that's wrong with selling. This is where the salesperson wants your money and that's about it. They may be selling something that you need, but they don't care. They're selling and hard. This may still be effective in low-cost transactional product selling, but if you're taking this course, I'm guessing that's not what you're focused on. Product selling focuses on leading with your perceived features and benefits. You're a master of your products and features, but not the industry that you compete in. All of the value lies in your offering, not your client's needs. Era 2 selling rolls along, and this is way back in the Xerox sales training and even Dale Carnegie sales training days. They taught us to ask more questions and be more client-centric. Today, Era 2 selling is similar to relationship selling. We lead with and spend a lot of time asking questions. At its best, this is diagnosing clients' needs. You're being an interrogator at its worst. Your value lies in listening and understanding what your client perceives as his or her needs. The customer then coaches the sales professional on how they purchase or make decisions. As a relationship salesperson, you're filled with a high level of empathy, but would not be comfortable pushing your client outside of their comfort zone. Most of everything from Era 2 selling is fine. Some of it is actually more than fine. It's still really good. However, not unlike other content such as insight selling and solution selling, consultative selling, challenge selling, and other books on similar topics, we believe that your clients need you in an entirely new way. That thing that you may have heard of, it's, what do you call it out there? Oh yeah, the internet. Customers today have no problem learning via our websites and many other sites. You've seen the research that customers are somewhere between 1/3 and 2/3 through their buying decisions before they even engage with a salesperson. They think they're fine and often, want to talk to us as part of their procurement process in an effort to get a lower price from us or maybe even just a lower price from our competitor. They may not even have been serious about dealing with us. The Titan-level sales professionals know how to lead this dance, so to speak. Like the doctor ultimately takes control of the examination and any prescriptions, or the professor in the classroom. The professor knows how to lead with facts, market intelligence, and data to gain credibility and allow new thoughts, feelings, and information. These little nuggets, kind of sneak or creep into the buyer's brain and they begin to place just the right amount of fear, uncertainty, and doubts into their decision making from before with your new thoughts that enter their mind. You're resetting their mindset, and that cannot be done with features and benefits of your products until you've done it with industry insight that matters. Take 2 different salespeople as an example. Think of Polite Pat, who's more of an Era 2 salesperson. Polite Pat will go into the sales process. We'll use the new Velocity D1S2 sales process to illustrate our stages. And listen, quite frankly, other sales systems are typically similar enough to ours that you'll be able to follow this even if you and your company use a different sales process. So this concept that we're talking to you about today, insight selling, it works as a process or it can work within your process. It doesn't matter. Anyhow, Polite Pat's goal is to make the customer comfortable. Polite Pat agrees with the customer as their go-to mindset. Now, somebody else, let's say Challenging Chris, another sales professional. Challenging Chris likes to bring a new perspective and is comfortable making the client comfortably uncomfortable. Doesn't mean go be a jerk, just maybe push them a little bit. If needed, they're able to make them comfortably uncomfortable, knowing that 90% of action or change is a result of pain, fear, discomfort, that mindset. Polite Pat wants to be loved by all. Challenging Chris wants to show the love by educating and igniting, willing to accept a little bit of risk associated with challenging status quo and potentially getting the decision maker out of their comfort zone. We may even be called a provocative professor from time to time if we need to be that type of person. Within the connect stage of the sales process, both of these sales personalities understand the importance of being liked, trusted, and respected. However, challenging Chris understands that this alone will not be nearly enough to win a complex sale. In the discovery stage, both polite Pat and challenging Chris know they need to first understand what problem are we trying to solve. They need to understand that before they can go on and solve it. However, challenging Chris's of the world, they're going to use their experience to, almost like a computer uses artificial intelligence or predictive coding, they're going to kind of use that mindset and make assumptions. Challenging Chris will test these assumptions during the delivery stage, but will get to delivery faster than polite Pat. Hear this loud and clear, gang. Discovery or diagnosing the problems or opportunities is incredibly important. However, so is avoiding death by questioning. Sometimes it's, a ping pong match back and forth. Maybe you've heard it called solution fatigue. This is real. We need to avoid it. Era 2 salespeople are told to be these ruthless investigators, thinking that by peppering the person with questions, you'll eventually uncover the secret that they're hiding from you. Era 3 salespeople, they care what you know. They care a lot, but they care less than that Era 2 version because they believe that they know more about how to fix the situation than the customer does themselves anyhow. And you know what? They're usually right. Neil Rackham in Spin Selling does a great job of teaching the spin selling technique. If you've not read the book, I really recommend that you do. It's really fantastic. There's one exception, one caveat to this. Take what they teach you to do. They're in the discovery stage. They're doing everything with questions, questions, questions. Take that and we're going to put a spin on it. A spin on spin selling, pun intended. The spin is going to be to weave the questions into statements and stories instead that lead the client where you want them to go. An example of this might be, instead of asking, hey, as a chief security officer, what keeps you up at night? Instead of this, go ahead and jump into the delivery stage and say something along the lines of, hey, listen, as a chief security officer, especially in a publicly traded company here in today's world, it's usually not too long into the conversation before cybersecurity, comes into the conversation. You may have read that less than 1 in 5 CISOs feel that they're adequately prepared to avoid a cyber hack. Hey, give me an idea of how secure you feel your data is, especially with the amount of outside vendors that you're currently using. You may even kind of make that a rhetorical question, and state some additional nuggets at the end of that role play that we just did there, adding on things like, hey, the reason that I ask this is that companies like Home Depot, Target, Verizon, you name it, they all thought they had adequate protection with their technology partners until, bang, it's too late. You've probably seen everything going on in the news. Now, every situation is just that. It's situational. To summarize this chapter, just be sure that you're asking enough questions in discovery to confirm exactly where an opportunity may be for the product or service that you sell. Once you have that information, keep asking any question that's a high yield question, but be ready to jump into delivery and educate the decision maker on your expertise in the industry. You're not going to say, oh, okay, hey, shut up now, Mr. Customer, I got this. You're going to artistically weave in the right amount of market intelligence, stories, and challenge statements. Be the professor. Sometimes this will require you to push a little bit, but most often they're going to appreciate the value and experience that you're bringing to the table. You're still focused on their problems, not your solution yet. That's what insight selling, leading, and being prepared to challenge with market intelligence is all about. All right, listen, we're going to move on, but first, knock down this quick chapter test. Good luck.